How'd you sleep last night, Dave?
How did I sleep last night? I slept okay. I didn't get a lot of sleep because I didn't meet a friend this morning for coffee, which I did to make sure that I got up early enough because I've been sleeping like way too late recently because I don't have a job at the moment.
Yeah.
So if I don't have something to do, I will sleep until like noon or 2.
I'm the same way. Like
Really?
if I don't have somewhere to be early,
Yeah.
it's really hard for me to get up. Like I'm freelance, so it's kind of varying. So for me, sometimes I get like a 9 to 5 project for a couple months, which is fantastic because then I'll be there either on time or 5 minutes late.
Yeah, I know. I'm that way too.
But if I don't have anywhere to be, it's really hard for me to wake up. Like I have to have a purpose.
I know, it's brutal. And I had like the last show last night, like closing night of this show that I've been doing, and so I got home and I was like amped up and I didn't want to like go to sleep right away, so I had a bunch of stuff to eat and was like watching Netflix, so that made I got like 6 hours of sleep, so which is not a lot for me. Like I need more and more sleep, so okay, I slept. That's my way of saying okay last night.
All
yes.
Right, gotcha. I saw the show last night, which was mostly about how you had some time in a coma.
That's right, yes.
Which isn't
pretty much entirely.
Yeah. It's called The Coma Show.
It's called Dave Maher Coma Show, so it's truly, yes, all about being in a coma.
So was that, did that feel similar to sleeping?
I don't know, to be honest, because I don't remember being in the coma at all. I woke up and... So I would say no. I mean, no, it didn't feel similar because, yeah, again, I don't remember the actual feeling. But in terms of waking up, that period was similar to sleep because you're obviously in a bed and on a lot of, like, hospital drugs. And I would, for the first week and a half after waking up, I would go in and out of consciousness quite a bit. Not back into a coma, but it definitely like felt like I was sleeping and then waking up and having weird fever dreams and yeah.
So did you dream at all when you were in the coma? Did it feel just like a nice
I remember
sleep?
It didn't feel like a nice sleep. It just felt like it's just a blank. It's just a total absolute blank. Yeah, and I actually know of another person who was in a coma who I saw this like house theater show that included monologues from the actors' lives, and this woman was like, the thing about a coma is you hover above your body and you blah blah blah, and I was like the only person in this audience who was like, well, actually that wasn't the thing about my coma. I didn't say that, but it was just like, so very hesitant to claim my experience for everyone.
Yeah, but
yeah, it was. I remember nothing from it.
Oh, weird. That's weird. Oh man, so sometimes you think, like, in my head, I'm like, oh, like, what if you, like, hear what's going on or hear what people are saying about you? Like,
no,
nothing.
I have no, apparently I was, like, a little responsive. Like, people would play certain songs and I would, like, bop my shoulders a little bit.
I like your favorite songs?
Well, like a specific Drake song. I would like bop my shoulder.
Which Drake song?
It's called The Crew. It's from the album Take Care. It's the one with The Weeknd.
Okay.
Where it's like, and the love and the crew, the love and the crew. And so I was just like bopping my shoulders to it, apparently. My mom was playing a lot of like praise and worship, like Christian music, and apparently that had like no effect. But this song, my brother played, and
Christian music has no effect. Drake's music
makes
you move.
It makes people rise from the dead. So.
Oh man, at least it wasn't a Kanye song because that would go way to his head.
I would be down. I would like I would love to have Kanye like be responsible for raising me from the dead.
Yeah, well, maybe I'll hear this and think.
Yeah, man. I mean, he knows what it's like. He's had the wire through his jaw and all that stuff. So, yeah, I'm a Kanye fan.
Yeah, no, I like his music. He's good.
I love his music. I love his personality. I love who he is culturally as an artist, as an institution. I will give him a lot of leeway.
Wow, you're a big Kanye fan.
Big Kanye fan. Yes.
That's cool. Yeah. So so it didn't feel like a dream, and no
dream.
Yeah.
I did have dreams when I woke up.
You're allowed to sit up too. You don't have to like.
Okay,
if you want it for a second to sip your coffee,
down on your bed.
No, it's fine.
No, I did have dreams in that like week and a half of fever dreaming when I
don't exactly know what fever dreaming is.
So, yeah, good question. To me, fever dreaming is just, I mean, I was on these, like, sedative medications. And so it's, like, usually when you're under the influence of something else, like, if you're, like, if you're withdrawing from some sort of, like, drugs, I think they call it fever dreaming. For me, it was just, like, the process of going from totally comatose to mostly awake and aware the whole time. And so it was going off all these medications they had me on, still super duper tired, and like, you know, I had this medical trauma, so I had just a lot of periods of like being asleep and thinking, like, I thought that this pile of towels in my room was a character from Orange is the New Black.
So like hallucinations.
Sort of, but but they were in dreams too.
Gotcha.
Like, I wasn't awake for them, but it was just like these very vivid dreams.
Yeah.
That blurred the lines between dreaming and reality.
There's actually a name for that because I do it. It's called hypnagogic hallucinations.
Hypnagogic hallucinations.
It's actually two. There's hypnagogic and hypnoponic, I believe.
Okay.
One is for when you wake up, and one's for when you're going to sleep. It's
like stalactites, stalagmites.
Yeah, so it's similar. It's very similar. So like one is, I think the waking up one is called hypnagogic. So that's when you're first waking up and you start to dream about things, and that's the one I probably do the most.
Cool.
But when I get super tired, I'll just say things that don't make sense. Like my close friends will be like, Sarah, you need to go sleep.
Yeah.
Like I'll just be like talking, they'll be like, like rabbit, and they're like, what did you say? I was like,
wow, that seems sweet. That seems like a way to like be on drugs without doing drugs.
Kind of, but at the same time, most of them were scary growing up. So yeah. So it was it's a mix, but
sure.
But so that's kind of sounds similar to the hallucinations, because like I'd see something that was here. Or maybe something in my room, like I've got one of those dolls that does the, you know, like the drawing dolls. You know,
what is
like
drawing
you know,
dolls?
like an artist drawing doll, like the tan things that you move in different positions. The artist sketches them.
Oh yeah, like the Kama Sutra things.
They're not Kama Sutra.
You know what I'm talking about? The little like models that you like put them in different positions.
Yeah, why are they Kama Sutra things?
That's just what I've seen, like different versions of the Kama Sutra that have like the doll. It's like the wooden. Yeah.
I've never seen the Kama Sutra version.
Well, that's like a good model because it's like sort of neutral, and you just see their general like shape, but they're bendable. Okay,
yeah, so it's one of those. I don't have the duo together.
Gotcha,
you know
gotcha.
that. But that's a very interesting way to think about it.
Yeah.
Kama Sutra dolls.
Yeah, that's how I would think of it. I don't know.
That's cool. So like I would sometimes imagine that thing like moving or something like that, and just be like, oh, it's doing a little dance. That's happening, and like
that's sweet though. You don't think that's awesome? Anything that like changes our expectations of reality is fucking fascinating. I think. Yeah,
it's weird when I'm like when it's late and I'm tired and like getting home or something. Like sometimes I've seen like the streetlights dancing, and it's like it's a weird thing because I'm like am I about to fall asleep right now? You know?
Yeah. And you just like can't control it when you do.
Yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen. Like with the hallucinations, no idea when it's gonna happen.
Really?
Yeah.
Even still, like you don't have any. Do you take medication or anything?
Oh yeah, I take medication.
Okay.
I mean, there's some that kind of help with hallucinations, but that's a little like weird. Yeah. So.
What about the falling asleep in general?
The falling asleep in general, I definitely take pills for.
Okay.
I'm trying to remember what we were talking about.
Yeah, I'm. Well, we were talking about fever. Oh, you were talking about your.
You were asking me how when I like.
Yeah, well, the medicines, and are you aware? Like, so the medicine you take, does it keep you from going to sleep?
Yeah. Well, I take balancers to stay awake, like same medicine that people like with ADD would take, like Ritalin and stuff.
Okay.
Like different versions of like an extended release version of it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I take medicine at night to stop the hallucinations and the falling down and stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. So
you're able to sleep normally. You don't have like episodes where you just go out.
Oh yeah, I still do. Yeah.
Even on the meds?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I have a pretty severe case. I think I downplayed a lot. Like it took us a few years. Like it took us like 4 years, I think, to find a doctor that had seen a worse case than me. But we were in Louisville. It wasn't like we actually went to a doctor in Cincinnati.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because I found him on the internet. That he had been, and he was the first doctor we found that had seen a worst case to me, but it was not like that bad. I think it was really bad at the time when I was like in high school, but it gets better as you get older. So it becomes more manageable. I think like to give you some perspective, the falling down thing, which is called a cataplexy, that used to happen like a few to several times a day in high school, and then at the peak, and then now it happens like once every 2 months maybe. Okay. So. Damn. It's not that big of a deal.
So is it like, does it affect your system, or is it just like you got to watch out because of the things you could fall into depending on where you're at when it happens?
No, I don't really think about that. Usually it happens at just of a sudden shock or change of emotion, or like if I'm really emotional or there's a sudden surprise. It's never happened on stage or anything like that. So it's always my fear, but I don't think...
That would be brutal, yeah.
But I think it's like the same thing, like you don't sneeze on stage. Like your body knows you're being watched, you know?
Yeah, totally.
So I think it's a weird thing like that. But my ex used to be able to like catch me, you know, like when he could see it coming on. And my parents and my brother... Yeah, I know. We're not together anymore. But yeah, that was nice of him. That was kind of romantic, but... He didn't always catch me. Sometimes he missed.
It's very like Gone with the Wind, sort of like swooning.
I know.
That's funny.
Yeah, but yeah, that was kind of... Yeah, people that know me really well or that have seen me do it a lot were able to see it. Like my brother can see it coming on. Actually, it's really funny. The first time my brother and his now wife, girlfriend at the time, the first time I met her, he brought her up to Chicago, and we were hanging out, and we were walking down Belmont, and something happened. I don't know, somebody said something that I thought was a weird funny thing, and I fell down, like I had a cataplexy in front of his girlfriend, like on the street, and my brother starts laughing because he thinks it's hilarious, and then she's thinking, oh my god, he's a horrible person, why are you laughing? He's like, it's no big deal, I'm just gonna be up in like a minute.
That's so funny.
Because he's just seen it happen so many times that it hasn't been...
There's no negative effects you have? It's just like this, my body shuts down and then I'm all back.
Well, I mean, I collapse, you know, like it looks like I fainted.
Right.
So it's like I'll wake up like a minute or two later, but I mean, and I'll sometimes like be really tired. Like if I get really tired, I'll have like micro sleeps or just fall asleep randomly. Like I fall asleep in the back of shows all the time.
Oh yeah. I mean, who doesn't? You know, narcolepsy or now.
Yeah.
Microsleep, that sounds nice.
That's like, no, it's not really. It's like when I fall asleep for like 2 seconds at a time and nobody really notices.
Oh man, I'm just imagining like a Narnia sort of situation where you can like get a full rest in that amount of time. That would be amazing.
You can't exactly, but I do have times where I've like had sleeps where I've been asleep for like a minute or two and then had dreams that last for hours because I go kind of straight to REM.
Yeah, totally.
I'm not normal with that, so it's kind of cool.
That is sweet.
Yeah, so not exactly Narnia, but it is very weird. Like sometimes when I have my day job, I'd fall asleep, you know, and I wouldn't know if I fall asleep for 30 seconds or 30 minutes because nobody would say anything to me. Right. Because they knew I had narcolepsy. So they're like, oh, would you wake her up? So like sometimes I wouldn't know how long I was asleep for, and I'm out of it when I first wake up. So.
Yeah. Would you ever ask people?
No.
Really?
Not really. I mean, sometimes, but then I was like...
Did they ever get in... I feel like jobs always pretend to be cool about stuff like that and then be like, but we know you have this thing, but you are kind of doing this. No one ever said that to you?
Well, not about falling asleep at work, but being late to work sometimes. Because, like, sometimes I'd have a weird hallucination or something like that. I'm trying to write a bit about this right now. It's like, you know, like where I thought I was getting ready for work, but I wasn't really. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and so it's like that weird thing. It's hard to and your boss is just like, oh, no, just set like 20 alarms. You should just set more alarms. I'm like, it doesn't work that way. Getting up is like the hardest thing in the world for me. But and it's...
Do you ever use it like BS and like lie about it and be like, because you have this excuse, use it at times when it's not actually happening? I've definitely used diabetes that way.
I've done it very occasionally.
Yeah.
Very occasionally.
Does it feel like sacred, like you're like you're being a truly awful person?
I don't know. I don't think it's a truly awful person, but like, I don't know. Sometimes it's better than... But sometimes, a lot of times, the reason I'm running late for shit is because I'm falling asleep, though. So it's not like... Yeah, I think most of the time it's pretty factual, especially like when I'm meeting with friends. It's like, oh yeah, oops, I was gonna meet you at the movie at like 6:20, and it's and it's 6:30. I fell asleep. You know, that's usually what happens is I fall asleep.
Right.
But no, I don't know, not too often. So I have used it sometimes when getting like if I was running late for a date or something.
Yeah.
Which is also weird to have to tell people like right away that
Right. Well, it's so interesting because sleep is such a it's like such an expression of disinterest almost, or like boredom. You're like, I was so fucking bored and tired. Like being like for someone to say like, I'm tired of you is like so brutal.
Yeah.
But when you're actually truly tired, it's like so hard to. It's like being hungry. Like when you just have fights with people and you're like, all we need to do is eat, and then this whole fight is fucking over. It's like crazy how simple our bodies are in some ways. Yeah. I know that's not like a revelation, but
no,
it feels like it sometimes.
It is weird. Like the thing is I'm tired all the time, so it's like a weird thing, but I definitely get the hungry thing. If I forget to eat, I can be hangry, definitely. Yeah, so I can definitely yeah. Or if I'm like tired of like walking, like if I'm like physically tired, like if I walked like, 3 miles or something, then I'm just like, man, but that's just like, that's usually where a lot of fights come from, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you tell people you date about your diabetes early on?
Pretty early. I mean, I don't because I test my blood sugar all the time. And so that's like, bringing this little kid out and pricking my finger at a meal, which is often a date thing. And, so I don't hide that at all when I'm dating with someone. I just I treat it very normally. It's not I always had this fantasy of being able to really sit my partner down and like explain everything with diabetes. And not until the woman that I'm currently dating have I been able to do that. And she like understands. And I think it was partially because she was in my life before and after the coma. So that like added some weight to like, oh yeah, this is a really serious thing and it's important and I would love to like share. And also she's just the kind of person who would want to like share these things with me. But I always had like dated people and was like, okay, how can I explain, like give you like the version that I got when I first found out I had diabetes. It's
so weird to tell people and have to explain it to something because there's no way they can fully understand. They can like try to sympathize with you, but like it's like they don't really get it, and they'll be like, yeah, I'm cool with it, and then like sometimes it's just a weird thing. It's a weird balance. I don't know. I feel like I always like tell people kind of earlier on just so that way. Because for me, it's like there's a lot more weird stuff that could happen, like,
totally.
Weird sleep stuff.
Yeah, so I definitely lead it pretty early on. Well, also because it's like weird because diabetes is thought of as this like, there's two types and they're very different.
Yeah, I had a friend growing up that had type 1 diabetes. My mom used to buy her like sugar-free candy and stuff like that when she stayed over.
Right. And it's like so different than what people think of when they talk about like, don't eat that donut, you're gonna get diabetes. It's like, that's not my kind of diabetes. It's fucking different.
At least people know what yours is, though. Like, narcolepsy is something that not a lot of people, like, know about. And they're like, oh, is that the thing where you can't sleep at night? No, it's, like, they mix it up. Or some people are like, oh, that's a real thing. Like, people don't think it's real. They're like, oh, it's like Tourette's. And I was like, that's a real thing, too.
Yeah. No, totally.
But, yeah, I don't know. I think it's a weird thing having something that people don't fully get that you're just, it's something you live with for the rest of your life. It's not like there's no cure for narcolepsy, no cure for diabetes, but there's meds. It's just, you have to change your lifestyle and that's just how you have to adjust.
For sure.
Yeah. But I don't know. But do you have, do you feel like do you feel different tiredness when you're like, when your higher sugar levels are lower or anything like that?
Oh, for sure. When my blood sugar is high, I will get very tired and like my vision gets kind of blurry and I feel like my mouth gets like sticky almost.
Oh.
And when I'm low, it's not tired. It's not awake, but it's very like alert. It almost feels like being high a little bit, but not in a pleasant way at all, like just in a kind of paranoid, and I start to sweat a little bit and I get really shaky and faint, but it's not tired really. But so I do have to be careful sometimes when I'm like tired to make sure that my blood sugar is not just high, because that definitely will make me want to like close my eyes.
Because you said originally in your show last night, you mentioned that you were self-testing yourself. Like, was that based on that experience?
Well, I was, by self-medicating, I meant like medicating anxiety and depression with booze and weed.
Oh, no, what I meant was instead of using the test strips, you were kind of just feeling out.
Just pretend, yeah. Like, so I know what low and high feels like, but the difference is, like, if 100 is what your blood sugar is supposed to be at, and I feel low when I'm 60 and high when I'm 180, well, then if I'm not actually testing, maybe pretty soon it's 150 that feels normal, and 100 feels low, and 250 feels high, and so I'm just getting higher and higher, and that's how I went into the coma, essentially.
Wow.
Yeah.
You feel lucky that you passed out in your roommate's bed and not your own?
I guess that is a good point. Yeah, definitely.
I was thinking about that last night. I was like, I didn't realize you passed out in your roommate's bed, because how many roommates would, like, open the door and make sure, you know?
Totally. Well, I think I passed out in my bed, but then apparently I, like, crawled, because I never went in his room.
Yeah.
Like, I just crawled into his room, I guess, and, like, was looking for help or something, but I don't remember any of that
Maybe
stuff.
that was another, like, weird spiritual divine
Yeah, totally,
thing.
dude. Oh, absolutely. Like, very possible.
But I know you didn't. I know that do you, like, because you said that they still can't explain what happened or why you woke up.
Not exactly, yeah. It's, I mean, there's, like, I switched hospitals, and the hospital I woke up at was better equipped to take care of young patients that had the thing I had, but still, like, they don't know exactly what happened. Yeah.
Weird. Do you sleep differently at all now? Like, are you afraid to, like, that? Are you ever, like, for me, I think, oh my God, if I was in a coma, I'd be afraid, like, every time I went to sleep, I might be in a coma again. Is that...
At first, yeah, for sure. Recently, no. I mean, the thing is, I still, like, because I've recovered so much physically, but I still feel way more tired than I ever did before. And I feel like there's something that has changed in my body that just makes me get fucking exhausted now. And so it's like, yeah, I, like, my muscles ache more, and that's, I have all sorts of other things that I'm still, like, going to various doctors to, like, get tuned up and back into fully working order, because I had changes other than recovering from the coma last year. It was the first year of that, and so I don't know if those are contributing to the tiredness, but it's, yeah, I don't have the fear of going to sleep anymore, but I definitely did when I started.
Gotcha. Yeah, I would probably feel that way.
Oh, yeah, totally, because you're just like, yeah, especially because I don't remember it, so it's like, well, if it were to happen again, I wouldn't know it was happening, which is even scarier, you know? It's not like, oh, well, if this happens, I'll know that I'm going into a coma again, I can stop it. It's like, nope, it just fucking happened last time, so maybe that's what just happened again.
Oh, weird. Also, because of all the things that happened were probably very surreal, did you ever wonder maybe this is just a dream, like when you first woke up from the coma?
Oh, well, I mean, I thought all sorts of things. Like, in the show, I talk about how I thought I was in rehab. I really did think I was, like, in the hospital for, like, drug rehab. And, like, and I didn't realize that I couldn't walk at first. I was, like, would tell my family, like, let's go on, like, a walk and talk. And they were like, you can't get out of your bed. Like, what are you talking about? So it was very strange.
Weird. Yeah, I just think that that's just so crazy. I don't know, like, I could not imagine that. I think that's a weird fear, because sometimes I have a sleep paralysis where you feel like you're paralyzed and you can't get out of
I've
it.
heard about that a lot. I've never had that, though.
You know, like, I think a lot of Americans will experience it, like, once or twice in their life.
Yeah.
I would have it on a very regular basis, but I've talked about it on the show before, but it's a weird thing. Like, you feel like, and you can hear what's going on around you and stuff. So, like, in my mind, I was thinking, oh, maybe that's what, like, coma's like. You feel trapped in your body.
Yeah.
You can't wake up. But I feel like your description of a coma sounds better than the thing, the terrifying thing of being like.
I mean, yeah, I imagine there are some kinds of comas that are like that. I think about a coma is that everyone is different. You have your own
it's all snowflake.
Yes,
Every coma is a snowflake.
Exactly.
Oh man. So yeah, you have this really cool show that you've developed ever since you woke up, basically, and you plan to take that other places.
Yeah, I want to try to tour it. I have have to like narrow my like wish list of cities down that I would like to either go to festivals or do one-off shows in cool theaters. But the Edinburgh Fringe Festival would be like the
dream.
Like, if I could do that this year, that would be like I had an amazing year.
Edinburgh is so amazing.
Yeah,
it's a very cool city. I went there a couple years ago, like while the Fringe was happening, and like that's just a madhouse and super cool. Like, like it was like even I was there for like a Monday and a Tuesday and a Wednesday, and just like the amount of people like having shows and doing weird shit in the main square is amazing.
Totally,
it's pretty badass. Have you been there?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, I went, I don't know, when I was in college sometime. So, geez, maybe like 10 years ago now. But it was, I also went during the Fringe. And I remember noticing the Fringe kind of now. But to me, it was just the city itself. It looked so cool, so old. And the fact that it's built on each other is like, the new city's built on top of the old city is like really sweet.
I love the windiness of it and the cobblestones and stuff. Did you try haggis?
I think I did. It was disgusting.
See, I tried it and I just thought it tasted like spicy beef. I don't know. Like,
I think I tried a little bit of it, and then there's like blood pudding, which is so fucking gross. All that shit is nasty, man. Like, fuck all that.
Fuck all that gross food.
Yeah, all that weird beef guts. No thanks, man. Sheep shit. No, it's gross. It's gray. Haggis is gray.
I mean, like...
It looks nasty.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I had it in a... Like, I don't know. Like, I like trying new foods just to, like, try it. You know, like, I tried it once. I said I ate haggis. You know, like, I've got
it. Of course,
you know?
Yeah, exactly.
But I haven't done the blood pudding, though. But
I don't remember if I had it or not. I think I might have tried it, but it's made of blood.
Yeah. It's actual, like...
Isn't it? Yeah, it's blood. I think it is blood.
That's gross.
That's crazy.
Some people drink.
Maybe I'm mad. I don't know.
Maybe it is blood. I don't know.
It is.
I thought it was just a name that was kind of, but maybe it is.
No, I think it's blood pudding because it's like a cow's like I don't know. Now I don't know if it's. Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know exactly. I knew about haggis, but that's about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's weird. So, wait, so you probably watch what you eat. You have to be very careful about what you're eating, like sugar-wise.
Yeah, well, recently, for like some of these other health stuff I was talking about, reasons I've been like totally off sugar, just like not having any added sugar, which is really hard. Just like not, sweets, which I used to be like an ice cream fiend.
I love ice cream. I'm bad with that too. It's like. Ever since watching the documentary Fed Up, though, I've been very like,
I mean, that's like essentially the diet I've been on, is like removing all that stuff.
Yeah, like but I love fruits, so like, you know, apples and oranges and stuff. I will say I did finish some ice cream last night because it's just like sometimes I'll like be late at night and be like, I've had a drink or two and I'm like, oh, I want to go to Walgreens.
Yeah, totally.
And it's like, oh, ice cream's on sale, and it's like then I make myself finish it. So that way it's not in the house anymore.
Right. But then you can just go out. I know. I'm really bad
like
about
the worst.
Too. I know.
It's like the worst.
But I've started, after being off it now, when I have it, it gives me a headache, like a giant headache. I mean, I had a couple pints of ice cream a couple weeks ago, and I had a hangover.
An ice cream hangover?
But not, and people talk about like, it felt like a booze hangover. Oh. Like, it was a pounding hangover style headache for 2 days.
Ooh.
And so now it's like associate that, so which is good, so because now I like see that stuff and I'm like, well, in this 10 minutes it would take me to house this pint of ice cream, I am choosing to be miserable for at least another day afterwards. So it's like, it has made it easier to steer clear of that stuff, it's just so. Yeah,
ice cream hangover. Wow,
yeah, it's brutal.
Are you one of those people that imagines like asking like someone you know, be like, "Hey, can you eat this ice cream for me? Like, smell it or anything weird?" Shit's terrible.
My lady is real good. Because whenever she wants that stuff, she's like, "Is it gonna bother you that I have that?" And I'm like, "No, it's fine."
Do you ever say, "Yeah, I'm feeding for it"? You can't do it.
She did almost leave a pint of ice cream in my freezer, and I made her take it back to her place because I was like, "I will eat this," and like I can't control myself if this is going to be like other things. Like I don't drink and I keep wine for her. That doesn't bother me, but keeping a pint of ice cream is like, I can't control myself.
Yeah. I feel like I'd be the same way. It'd be like, I have roommates, and I have absolutely, like, if they had had ice cream before, I've, like, definitely eaten it and been like, I'm gonna replace it because I've just been like, I have that same weird but like with the narcolepsy too, it's like part of there's like a lack of a chemical in my brain that called hypocretin or orexin, and that like helps control your limits on things. Like my limits for it basically connects and tells my brain I've had enough sleep, I've had enough food, and like arousal and other things like that. So it's like all those three things, and it's like, so I don't have a limit on my eating as well. So there's a lot of narcoleptics that are obese or also have diabetes as well.
Oh shit.
But I am not one of those, thankfully, but I had to be like super aware of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, because you're sleeping all the time, you're not active, and you know, I don't know, you eat to stay awake. I got tested for diabetes and hyperglycemia in high school, which is like the worst test in the world, because like they make you not eat 12 hours before,
right? And
then you have an 8-hour test, and so then they take your blood every hour. Like they have you eat an orange, then they take your blood. They have you like drink like a fruit drink, and then they take your blood. Because I used to eat in high school, they knew stuff was wrong with me. They didn't know what. I used to eat to stay awake sometimes, and because of that, they thought I might have diabetes.
Gotcha.
So
yeah.
But it was not that, but that test was brutal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ugh. I don't think mine was like that. I'm trying to remember, because I was so young when I mean, not that young. I was in like 7th grade, but it was still like, I don't remember the exact test for some reason. I remember getting the results, but I don't remember. I don't think I was in there for like 8 hours. I remember they took multiple like samples of blood, but yeah, it wasn't that same kind. I don't remember what their process was.
I remember like, because I was like, I don't know, 14 or 15, and so I just remember not being allowed to eat 12 hours before, and I remember like every hour they'd have me eat something, and then they'd test the blood after it's like been processed. So then I'd have to eat like this thing and then this thing, and it was just exhausting. And I was like sleeping the whole time. They'd had to like wake me up. Sarah, it's time to eat an orange.
Oh, geez.
And I'm like,
yeah.
But yeah. So let's see. What other? Do you have any other weird sleep stories or anything?
Weird sleep stories. Well, since in the last year I've had this experience of having so I've had a bunch of dreams. I've remembered more dreams than I have in like the previous like 10 years of my life this past year.
Oh, weird.
Because I got sober, and so a lot of people will tell you when you get sober, and it's true, at least in my case, like you just sleep way differently and dream and remember your dreams a lot more. And I had the experience of being in a dream and remembering having a memory within that dream.
I've had that
was of a previous dream.
Oh yeah,
I was like, oh, because there are always these dreams about like I'm smoking weed again or I'm drinking again, and in this one dream I was like, oh, I might as well smoke because I haven't been sober. I smoked last week. And then I was like, in the dream, I'm like, no, I didn't. That was in a fucking dream, which is, I had never had that experience before. And that was like mind blowing to me.
See, yeah, I've had definitely, it's weird to have memories of things that didn't happen. Or like, a lot of times I'll be like in a house that was my parents' house, even though it wasn't really my parents' house.
Yeah. I've had that where it's like, this thing is that, but it doesn't look like it. But to have an actual memory from not your life is like fucking crazy to me.
I've had that. I have also had deja vus where I've been thinking a thought.
Yeah.
It's not just like what I see and what I hear and what I smell and all that. It's like my deja vu is like I'm thinking this thought, and that's part of the deja vu.
Yeah.
And that's kind of trippy when I'm doing that. It's
absolutely.
Like, wait. I remember having this memory of me even thinking this thought.
It's like there's these shadow selves or like parallel universe kind of shit.
Yeah, I mean, and because of the way I dream and stuff, I go kind of straight almost to dreams. I've had dreams that have lasted seriously like definitely inceptions are like days and stuff like that, even though I've only been asleep for a couple hours.
Right.
And that's when I first wake up and I'm so out of it. I don't very much confuse reality and dreams. But like because of that, I definitely believe in some sort of other universe or dimensions or something like that, you know? Yeah. It's very weird. Trippy, but I definitely think that something like that's happening.
Yeah.
So, now I know we've been talking about like dreams that we have at night, but what other dreams do you have like for your future in terms of
dreams for the future?
Like hopes and dreams.
I would like to take this coma show to Edinburgh is a big dream. I would like to learn how to play the drums.
Oh, that's cool.
I would like to have a family someday. My lady and I are going to be... Well, I probably shouldn't say... I won't say that. I don't want to say it, put life plans into the ether. That's not just about me. But, I didn't mean to say the family thing, and that I'm not like planning to start a family. That's not.
You're not putting that pressure for your girlfriend right now. She's gonna hear this podcast and be like, "Dave, is there something you need to tell me?"
No, that's not in the cards anytime soon. I would like to move out of Chicago at some point,
like back to Tennessee or somewhere new.
No, probably to New York, but I don't. It could be years before that happens. So I don't know.
That's cool. We've got a lot of time ahead of you, you know.
Yeah.
Well, it was. Do you have? It was super fun having you on.
Thank you for having me. Yeah.
Thank you for talking about sleep and coma and
of course
all this stuff.
Yeah.
I guess I will stop this. I don't know a good way to end.
Okay, sweet.
I'm bad at the ending part.
I'll just curl up.
Are we just gonna like fall asleep? Are you comfortable?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. This is nice.
Isn't it comfortable?
Yeah, I'm like getting really.
We'll just like go to sleep. I'm Sarah Albritton, and thanks for listening to Sleeping with Sarah, where I slept with Dave Maher. I'm releasing a new podcast each week. Be sure to tune in to find out who I have in bed with me next. Thanks to Josh Bryant for the music. You can also view the video on YouTube or follow me on Twitter @Sarah Albritton. Until next time, good night.